Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Oh my word, days or weeks later, and everyone is still arguing as to what Harry meant when he said he wants to make sure the Queen is protected and surrounded by the right people. Was he talking about Andrew or about AIDS or the men in grey suits? Well, for a change, I am agreeing with Robert Jobson. Jobson, while on the royal beat, said he thinks Harry said that to wind his brother William up. Yes, suddenly it clicked for me too. Harry may be many things, including slightly nuts, entitled, spoiled, etc., but he was in the royal family long enough to know what it takes to protect the Queen. So, I agree with Jobson. He likely knew the comment would upset his father and wind up his brother. What a little a-hole he is. But in the iconic words of Ian Lloyd, these digs at the royal family will come back to bite him. I like the way Ian Lloyd highlights the irony of Harry's situation. Ian explains the difference between personal fulfillment and royal duty and says that it is his opinion Harry is not particularly cut out to be a member of the royal family, or I think he means the monarchy. So Harry is now doing his own thing. And then Ian said, but also the irony is, of course, he is only able to do these things because he is a member of the royal family. Now, isn't that the truth? And hilarious when you come to think of it. Even more hilarious is the fact that even Americans are starting to recognize this, as Eric Schiffer, an American reputation management expert, actually said, and once again I quote, Harry's brand equity is largely tied to his DNA. Well, I guess Harry is trapped after all, and in more ways than one, because he needs to re-establish his royal connection to stay relevant, and he needs to satisfy his wife by chasing the celebrity limelight. And as we all know, there is no middle road between the two. As the situation with the ex-royals deteriorate, and it is the one bit of silliness after the other, it is hard to find something original to say about them. We highlighted Meghan's propensity to lie. We have spoken about Harry's ever-changing mental health issues, their dodgy deals. We have spoken at length about the births of the children. And to me, it feels as if we have covered it all. And no matter what they do or say next, it will just all fit into the same category of entitlement and delusion. What is, however, still bothering me and will continue to bother me along with the mystery surrounding the children's birth is that the royal family remains so tone deaf. I mentioned in a previous video that Andrew had been stripped of the honorary freedom of York and that there are now serious calls for Parliament and Buckingham Palace to step in and remove his Duke of York title. However, it is said that the Queen will not do it, as she finds it too hurtful to remove the title she bestowed on Andrew 30 years ago. But it is said that she will leave it to Charles to deal with when he becomes king. This may be true, and I'm sure it would be very emotional for the Queen to take this step and further humiliate her son. I'm absolutely sure of that. But I think there is yet another reason, a further reason why they do not want to strip Andrew of his ducal title. And I think if the Queen or Charles actually take the step to remove Andrew's ducal title, they will no longer have any excuse not to do the same with Harry. And added to that, I have a feeling that should this fate befall Andrew, the voices of the British people will raise ever stronger to have Harry's ducal title stripped. And that, my dear friends, is why I think the royal family is hesitant to remove Andrew's title. Now, of course, the media and everyone else will have a few days speculation about Meghan's Pearl, which will not see the light of day on Netflix. Yes, it has just broken on mainstream media, and every YouTuber and poster on other platforms are talking about it and posting about it. And I'm going, I told you so. Because indeed, I did tell you also in a video 4 to 5 days ago. You can actually go back and have a look at some of my previous videos. And in one, I actually did tell you that it won't show on Netflix. The simple truth is that Netflix's stock plunged more than 30%, and they lost about 200,000 subscribers in a very short period. And the reason for that is simple. Netflix made huge mistakes. Just think of them screening cuties and increasing their subscription fee in a time when the world is struggling to recover from COVID lockdown and, of course, dealing with a potential war in Europe. Okay? So, of course, Meghan's Pearl was not the only animation series cancelled. Toil and Trouble, Roald Dahl's The Twists, and Jeff Smith's Bone were all cancelled. And seeing that Pearl was still in the production phase, the losses for Meghan and David Furnish and everyone else involved is actually a lot less than for those that had already progressed to screening. But of course, everything is about Meghan. The world revolves around Meghan Markle, and I am truly sick of it. Someone I correspond with regularly asked me what I think Meghan and Harry will come up with next to stay relevant. Well, I heard, and I think I even mentioned this in a previous video as well, that things are not as smooth sailing with Spotify now either. And the reason, again, is very simple. There's no conspiracy theory, there is nothing but pure, unadulterated business. But let me explain. Spotify are very aware of what is being said on other social media platforms. They are very aware of what is happening to the likes of Netflix, and they know that the majority of people do not care much for Meghan Markle preaching about female archetypes. The only way Meghan can maintain high viewer figures or get them in the first place is to secure guests who are famous and who have a large following of their own. And from what I hear, the truly famous and rich are now a bit weary to be associated with Meghan. So, as they say, she needs them more than they need her. So, in my opinion, Meg's Spotify spot will not last long. Now, I'm getting a lot of negative commentary about my opinion that Harry and Meghan will be in Britain during the Jubilee. But, my dears, in light of what's happening with Netflix, in light of what is going to happen on Spotify and everything else, they need to be there. They need to remind the world that they are still related to the royal family. Meg will also have to be there to ensure that her father does not take the headlines or get too much time with anyone in the royal family, in my opinion, of course. And along with the rest of you, I sincerely hope I'm wrong. What about their security, you ask? Well, here is what I have been told verbatim. Prince Harry is satisfied with the arrangement proposed to him whereby his private security and the Met Police will work together to ensure their safety and privacy. So there you go. The mainstream media and other YouTubers can now take what I've put out here and go look into this now, and then when they find it to be true, blast it on the front pages without giving me credit. Thank you. Bye. Anyway, to get back to my long-term prediction, Harry will still have his book come out later in the year, which will obviously grab a few headlines, but I do not think it will sell well long term. Obviously, journalists and YouTubers, etc., will read it, comment on it, which will cause the public to eventually lose interest and not spend their hard earned money on the book. After the launch of the book, Harry and Meghan will have to have some magic trick up their sleeve to stay relevant and survive financially. If they don't, Daddy Charles will have to bail them out via his United States ventures, which will then in turn impact Daddy Charles's popularity. And I said this before, and I will say it again. Someone in Charles's employ or orbit is trying very hard to make William look a little less shiny in the hope of making Charles look a little better. And in my opinion, it is the biggest mistake they have ever made, because we are all hanging in there for the Queen's sake and to see William and Catherine on the throne. And if they succeed in tarnishing William's image, there will be absolutely nothing left to hang in there for, and the monarchy will be a goner, done out of it, gone. So we'll see in the long term whether I'm right or wrong. Yes, and of course, old Meghan attended Harry's polo match in Montecito and made sure the paparazzi were there. But guess who else was there? Ta-da! Marcus Anderson in the flesh. Yes, yes, yes. I told you all, Marcus was still friendly with the couple and still Mixie Daisy's number one crony. I have an interesting question for you though. We have seen Catherine with her children having a good time at William's polo matches, sitting on the grass, having picnic lunches, and so on. So where were Archie and Lily? In the dark dungeon of the Montecito home? I guess so. Guys, that's it from me for today. I am sure you noted a slight sarcastic tone, but that is how I currently feel about the Harkles. They are a joke, and the royal family's inaction makes them jokes too, or at least seem to weakly empower the woke Harkle joke. And I'm a poet, and I don't even know it. No, actually, I do. I also apologize for not doing so well in the comment section these last few days. I have just not been in a good mood. But I did start reading comments yesterday, and I wish to thank you all for your patience, intelligence, and support. You are a classy bunch, and I love you. So all that remains for me to say is to take good care of yourselves until we meet on the next one. Bye.